Hi, you're listening to the Rise Up Functional Wellness Podcast. I'm Whitney Ford, a certified functional wellness counselor. I work with clients who are sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, and using a comprehensive, incredibly immersive, and ultimately transformative 90-day program, I take these clients from feeling sick and tired to feeling vibrant and healthy and wonderful. Well, thanks for tuning in to episode 3 of the Rise Up Functional Wellness Podcast. It's just me, Whitney Ford, here today alone. I will have another guest coming up pretty soon. I'm actually super stoked. Her name is Jess. She's from Hold the Space Wellness, and I've known her for a really long time. So you'll have her coming up in the next couple weeks. We'll be chatting. But I wanted to get on here and talk about making big changes, because you cannot heal in the environment that made you sick. So what that typically equates to is that if you have big problems, you have to make big changes. And these changes are not always easy to come to terms with. They can be absolutely life-altering and ultimately for the good of your health, which in turn is the good of your happiness and the happiness of those you love and who love you back. So when I say it like that, it's just sounds so simple to make the big change, do the thing, but it's really a lot more complicated than that. We all know that. I wanted to share with you guys an example of making the big change, or making a big change in order to see big change. So as of Thursday, May 5th at 12:30 p.m., I am no longer a firefighter. It's over. That chapter of my life is done. The ship has sailed. I am not going to be fighting any more fires. At least that's how I feel now. I feel as if I could go the rest of my life without ever going inside a structure fire ever again. And that has not been a decision that came easily. I've known that I didn't want to retire for a very long time now. And I've known my original plan was to try to make it to 10 years so that at least I could take my pension plus what the city contributed to it. And then it became apparent that I'm not going to make it 10 years. So it was just a matter of when. And that is a very hard decision to make, or it was a very hard decision to make. But ultimately, I ran some numbers, and, a big concern for me was financial stability. Like, if I left this department, would I be financially okay? And I was able to look at some things and realize that, yes, I can't be unemployed forever, not unemployed, because I do work full-time on Rise Up, but Rise Up is a baby. It is an infant of a business, so it is growing, and I kind of had this idea that we'll see what happens. I have 1 year to launch Rise Up, get it going, and in that 1 year, I plan on working at a reasonable pace in order to do that, because I'm the kind of person that identifies with my work. And I think that is cultural. That's something that's pretty common in the United States, but I also feel like not everyone identifies with their work. I mean, if everyone identified with their work, then I would feel like some people who have jobs that are, less desirable, they would be very unhappy. But I'm one of those people that I identify heavily with my work. I need to feel like I'm contributing to the world in a positive manner, and if I don't feel like that, then I'm not happy. So knowing that I identify with my work, I also know how easy it is for me personally to get wrapped up in what I do and to just pour my heart and soul into it to a point where it's unhealthy. And so I will not be doing that with Rise Up. I will be pouring an adequate amount of my heart and soul into Rise Up because it is my baby. I do love it. I do care about its longevity. And if I were to just dive in head first, then it's going to fail because I'm going to burn out. So my goal over the next year is to be really intentional and watch this little baby of a business grow up. And I'm so excited to be able to help those who need it the most and to make an impact on the lives of people I know. And I know you might be thinking, isn't that what you did in firefighting? And in short, yes, but also no. So here's some of the struggles that I dealt with in firefighting. There's obviously like some physical and mental health struggles that just come naturally with the job, which is really unfortunate. For example, physical health. We are, as firefighters, we are enduring chronic stress on a regular basis. Every time we go to a call, it heightens our body's stress response, even in a subtle way. Like I know many calls, it didn't seem like it was high energy. They were just very simple. But believe me, it actually does activate the body's stress response on a lower level. And then, of course, you have the calls that activate it on a very high, like fight or flight response kind of level. Then you add to that the sleep disruptions. So even if my sleep was interrupted one time for a call, I was losing about 1 to 2 hours of sleep based on that. And that's just from going on one call in the middle of the night. Now you add to that, 3 calls in the night or 4 calls. You're not getting any sleep. And so there are a ton of health problems that come from that. There are lack in sleep is linked to cancers, and that really scared me because when I first got involved in the fire service, I joked that the first several weeks of the fire academy should have just been called 101 ways the fire service can kill you, because it was all about how to not die, basically. And it was kind of eye-opening. In the first few weeks, I'm like, whoa, there's a lot of ways to get killed in this job. They talk about our increased risk of heart disease. And I truly, at the time, I didn't think anything more than that being a result of poor diet. Firefighters notoriously have bad diets. It's really unfortunate. But now I realize, and at the time I was thinking okay, so I'll just make sure I eat healthy and exercise like I do now, or like I did back then. And the reality is, as time went on, I realized, wow, even if I'm doing everything in my power, I'm eating right, I'm exercising right, I'm resting as needed when I'm not at work, I'm still suffering from a result of the nature of this job. And I watched my health decline throughout the years, and that scared the crap out of me. I'm not going to lie. For one, I felt like a shell of the woman I used to be. I was so exhausted. I'd come home from work, and like I said a few moments ago, I would rest when I felt I needed to rest. That was constantly. I was exhausted. I didn't sleep at work. That carried over into my first day off. I was always resting. I had no energy. So I could barely do the things I loved. I could barely parent my kids. And as a single mother who has very little help from the other parent, that's kind of a big deal. And I've known for a long time that this wasn't working, that this career choice wasn't working for me. And when I started seeing my children suffering as a result of having essentially an absent mother, that's when I decided to make the change to go into a role at dispatch. And I worked at dispatch for about 8 months. I still felt like I was suffering. I felt like they were suffering. And so, again, after running some numbers, I pulled the plug. And that was on Thursday. It's been an emotional several days. I've had people texting me, asking me what happened. People have been worried about me. They wanted to send somebody here to do a wellness check because they thought that it was so uncharacteristic and impulsive, but it wasn't. It was incredibly thought out, and I had been contemplating this for well over a year. I've had a lot of responses and reactions and pleas, and I have yet to feel an ounce of regret. I have definitely felt fear. The fire department was a security blanket for me. It has kept food on the table for myself and my kids. It has allowed me to purchase my first home. It has given me the vehicle in my garage. I mean, healthcare, life insurance, retirement plan, all of those things the fire department gave me. And I decided to rip off that security blanket. Obviously, the security blanket was also incredibly damaging, but yeah, so I have had some fears surrounding that, just some concerns. I've also been trying to be very meditative and very still in a way, like mentally still, if that makes any sense, and just kind of sit with the decision that I've made, because it's a huge decision. And I don't know I mean, I'm just kind of waiting to see how these emotions are going to continue to unfold, because it's been really interesting. I have had a bit of grief over the fact that I've realized after just being home with my family for, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, for 5 days, I've just realized like how my absence as a mother has affected my family. And I realize that I have work cut out for me when it comes to parenting my children. We need to work on some things in our home. And so for me to realize where we're at and to really kind of come to terms with how much the job took from me, it's been really upsetting. I've been grieving the loss of the years I gave to the department. Some of the best years of my life. I'm 37, and for 6.5 years, I've been in the fire service. So it feels like I gave up a lot. And of course, this past Sunday was Mother's Day, which was very interesting. For me, it's the first Mother's Day I've celebrated in years, because as a single parent, for one, I was either working on Mother's Day and couldn't celebrate it, or I was working the Saturday before, and so my kids were with their dad, and I spent Mother's Day getting off work at noon, feeling exhausted, and driving to San Antonio to get my kids. So it's hardly celebratory when your Mother's Day looks like that. So to realize, like, this is the first time I've been celebrated as a mother. I've poured my heart and soul into this career path, and I did it all not just for myself. Like, if I was just doing this for myself, I would have quit a long time ago. But I did it for my kids mostly, so that they would live in a nice neighborhood, have a decent house, have the things that they needed. And that's never been celebrated on Mother's Day. And so for the first time ever, it was. And that's when I had kind of an emotional response of like, oh my gosh, I gave so much. And I wouldn't go as far as to call the department a cult, but it has felt like, now that I'm on the outside of the department looking in, or reflecting on my time there, I should say, I've just realized how brainwashed I was. I mean, before I got hired there, I was told, like, it's the golden ticket. It's the best department in the world. I mean, when I was in the academy, I was told this is the best department in the country. And from early on in the academy, I knew that it was a culture that I didn't jive with. There were behaviors from other firefighters that I just didn't appreciate, like really horrible attitudes, really ugly attitudes. It wasn't quite breaking you down to build you back up. It was just breaking people down because it felt good to them for some reason, because they had emotional issues that they chose not to work through like adults. And so I saw a really ugly side of the department's culture, starting with the first week that I was in the academy, and that just continued on for the whole 14 weeks, to where I had a really hard time getting over it. But yeah, I was told the whole time, this is the best apartment in the world. You're not going to find anything better than this. And it really is brainwashing. And the thing is, if you go and ask any firefighter, well, maybe not any, but the majority of the firefighters there would tell you the same thing. Yeah, I'm burnout. I miss my family. My family is struggling. I'm counting down the days to retirement. And I have had that conversation with tons of firefighters. It is a hard job. It's a job that pays moderately well, has great benefits, allows for plenty of vacation, plenty of sick leave, but it comes at a cost. It is not a golden ticket. It is not like winning the lottery. It is a job, and those benefits come with a price, and that's a price that I didn't want to have to pay anymore. So I quit. And you may be wondering, what the heck does any of this have to do with wellness? Well, wellness is a lot more than just your nutrition. I didn't get sick from eating poorly. I got sick from working in an environment that didn't allow me adequate rest, from working in an environment that activated my body's stress response. And I used nutrition as the foundation to become well again. But like I said in the beginning of this podcast, we cannot heal in the same environment that made us sick. So sometimes your wellness, and I would dare to say most times, your wellness is not going to improve solely based on the foods that you consume. Yes, that is the foundation. That is what I start with when it comes to my one-on-one clients. We always start with nutrition as our foundation because, yeah, it's the basis. If you don't have good nutrition, you can't heal in other areas. But sometimes, and again, most times, we uncover that the truth is there are changes that need to be made that are not quite as simple as choosing to eat vegetables instead of French fries. So sometimes those things are very glaringly obvious. It's very obvious sometimes what to do or what to change. Other times it's subtle. Other times it's, in my case, quitting the thing that you once considered your absolute dream job. So I wonder what it is for you. If you're listening to this and you're on a journey to wellness, I am just curious as to what that big change is for you. What do you need to do to create big change within? And I'm going to leave it at that. I feel like I could go on and on and on talking about this subject, but I'm going to go ahead and end it at that. So until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you are curious about one-on-one coaching with Rise Up, we still have 3 slots for one-on-one coaching for the rest of the month of May, or shouldn't say for the rest of the month, but this is a 90-day program. I have 3 more slots available for anyone wanting to start in the month of May. I only take on a few clients each month so that I can offer you the most one-on-one and custom health coaching I possibly can. And that's why I'm able to say that I offer concierge health coaching, because I don't take on more than I can handle so that I can help you as much as you need that. So anyway, if that's something that you're interested in, it is a 90-day program, fully custom. I have a template that I use, and then that's pretty much it. Like after that, it's fully customized just for you to get you onto your, not just onto your wellness journey, but to kind of walk side by side as you get to that state of ultimate wellness. So you can check that out on my website. It's www.riseupfunctionalwellness.com. On Instagram and Facebook, it's the same thing, Rise Up Functional Wellness. And that's all I've got for you guys today. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.